Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Waffle review of Game Week 11, a look ahead to Game Week 12. I ended up going really rogue away from the transfer plans that I told you about that I was thinking of. And essentially, FPL has been bothering me a little bit more than it should have done for a while in terms of like trying to play this perfect game of making good decisions and without taking too many risks and minus points. And basically, I've kind of realised I was losing the love a little bit of FPL. I used to go crazy of taking hits, putting in the players I wanted to bring in. And I basically thought, blow it. Let's sort of start to go back to perhaps a slightly more aggressive way of playing the game. So I took a minus 16, right? But it pretty much paid off. And at the very least, it's also set me up for future weeks. Um, Now, one man paid off the minus 16 in itself, and that was Bruno Fernandes for a whopping 17 pointer. In hindsight, my captain Son wasn't ideal. I should have captained the Salah. But it is what it is. I fancied Son, so I stuck with my gut. Cunha delivered a beautiful 12 pointer who I already owned. My five transfers basically were eight Nuri in, Dallo in, Fernandez in, Son in, and Solanke in to attack that sort of, well, to basically attack all of those fixtures for those teams playing, Southampton, Leicester for Fernandez and Dallo, and then also Ipswich at home for Spurs. Very unlucky of the Spurs boys, to be fair. Dallo was also very unlucky. He got subbed hooked, I think, 3 minutes before 60 minutes. So he would have got a clean sheet if it wasn't for that, maybe bonus. But nonetheless, Fernandez delivered massively, and Aït did get a cleaner. And like I said, it puts me in good shape moving forward. So I didn't really lose much rank. And my team, sort of moving into the game week after the international break, all of a sudden is looking very strong with the fixtures of, Fernandez's, etc. Other than the Spurs boys. So it's linked to sort of the aggressive play. Again, this week, I look at my team and I go, right, there's a few areas in the starting 11 I'm not happy with. I want Palmer back, which was always the plan anyway. So I'll put Palmer back in here for Son. So that's one move. I really fancy Mitoma for Brighton because look at the state of that fixture, and he's been playing unbelievably well for us. So one of my other moves will be Rogers, most likely to Mitoma. Now, you could go for a João Pedro, who looks like he's back now in the team and probably after the international break more or less ready to play games. So I don't mind João Pedro at all, but I just have this feeling Mitoma might get some points where he's kind of deserved more recently than he's got. Up front, this is partly for funds, because of funds, and partly because the aggressive logic I'm going with. Darwin Núñez has started to get a run in the team. Jota's still out injured. Away to Southampton is a plum fixture. We know the man on his day could just score a hat trick if he wants to with the number of chances he gets. Let's go for it. And that means with 2.2 in the bank, I can do Fass to basically one of the men that I took out last week. But I kind of, when I took him out, Gabriel, I was like, I don't really love that long term. I got away with it this week. He got 2 points against Chelsea. Let's get him back in the team because Arsenal, speaking of fixture runs, also have a delicious fixture run now moving forward. So again, it sounds very rash on paper, but last week it didn't even go that badly, taking a load of hits. And this week again, I'll just have a lot of fun. Flecken at Everton looks great, looks great. If Trent is fit, looks great. If he's not, Ain't Nuri fine. Dallo looks great against Ipswich. Great fixture, great fixture, great fixture, great fixture, great fixture, great fixture, great fixture. And I think I'd be captaining Salah and probably vice captaining Palmer, assuming he's absolutely fine. I've also put together a wildcard draft for you guys. In case you're thinking of wildcarding, it's not a bad week, I don't think, to wildcard. I've got Sanchez and Fabianski combination. Chelsea's fixtures essentially get great now. And then, even this Spurs away fixture in 15, look at this. If Fabianski retains his place, home to Wolves, which is one of the best fixtures you could probably have in terms of, you know, home fixture, reasonable chance of a clean sheet. So that combination works very nicely. Into the defence, Virgil, partly because Trent, I think, is going to miss out, and I think away to Southampton's a great fixture. It's the sort of game I could see Verge banging in a header. So got him. Ain't Nuri for Wolves is just continued run of amazing fixtures. So we've got him in very attacking. Estepinian I put in a bit of a cheeky pick for Brighton. We know how good he can be. He started to play the last few games, 90 minutes in all of them, and we go on an amazing fixture run, as I alluded to earlier. So Estepinian's in. Gabriel, he's still a threat from corners, and Arsenal, I still believe, are going to come through with a clean sheet, so they've had a bad run without. Fass is just a cheap, sort of nailed enabler. You can have anyone there though. The midfield looks a bit similar to my team that I've currently got. Palmer, have to have him, I think. Fernandez, I've got a couple more fixtures for United, which I think is still worth attacking away to Ipswich home to Everton under the new manager. You know, they could do nicely there. I think Fernandez has scored against Everton recently in a few years too. So I don't know, just back him to do well. Salah, I just think has been playing unbelievably, and his fixture run, like, is good enough away to Southampton at the very least. I think you have to have him in for. And Burma continues to do brilliantly. You have to have him. And then Semenyo, again, talking of fixture runs, look at Bournemouth's fixture run now. Pretty darn good. So Semenyo comes in for Bournemouth, sort of their talisman. And then up top, Cunha's just been doing brilliantly for Wolves. As I said, their fixture run's amazing. João Pedro for Brighton, as I said, their fixture run's amazing. Absolute bargain at 5.4 if you can continues to get minutes in the team and probably on pens. And then Watkins is in there. I know he's had a bad run of form, and if you don't fancy him or need the funds, you go to an Isak or something. But this is partly the logic because there's some good fixtures over the next five. And in game week 15, I strongly think he is a very, very, very strong captaincy option. You know, Salah away to Everton isn't bad, but it's a derby, it's away from home. Everton, generally speaking, are solid defensively under Dyche, particularly at home. Um, City, if you've got Haaland away at Palace, fair enough. But that's a plum fixture at home Southampton. If Ollie Watkins, even if he like got a goal against Brentford or something, you're thinking it starts giving you more confidence, doesn't it? We know the man can score goals, and home Southampton, no matter what form he's in, I back him to have a good chance. So he's partly there for captaincy and partly there to attack those fixtures. Brentford have been awful all defensively. Palace haven't been good. Yeah, that's why he's in essentially. So I think it looks strong. If you can't afford this team, very simply, you could do Estepinian down to say Van Hecker for Brighton. You could save money. I was even thinking like, Burma could go down. You could do Semenyo down to Rodgers. There's a lot of things you could do to save money. Like I said, Watkins to Isak. Even Sanchez could go down to Verbruggen or something. Virgil, you could just lower to someone else like a Pedro Porro, or yeah, like there's a lot of things you could do to save money in this team. But this, I think, if you can get to it, looks my optimal play. I think I'll leave it there in terms of the sort of fantasy football suggestions, like picks for this week. You know, I usually do a separate thing for picks this week, but looking at the wildcard draft, I think you can just take a lot of the players there to consider. Like I think Palmer, if you haven't got him ready, this is the week to get on him and get him in the team. Salah, if you haven't got him ready, I think is doing too well to ignore at this point. And like I said, Isak, if you were going to start to get him in the team, this could be the week you consider him. And Cunha, I don't think it's too late for Cunha because look at the state of that fixture on there. And beyond that, like I said about selling in Burma if you need money because his fixture run starts to get worse after the next two. But I think you want to keep him for the next two ideally. That Leicester at home particularly is looking fantastic. And Brighton players, this is the week to start hopping on Brighton players. If you want João Pedro, if you want Matoma, if you want a defender, this is the week. And like I said, Semenyo, this isn't a bad week to enter for Bournemouth. And Watkins, Rodgers isn't a bad week for them. And also Arsenal, this is the week their fixture run now properly turned into a long-term good run. So Saka, if he's declared fit from that minor hamstring doubt, get on him, I'd say. Gabriel, even Havertz, I don't think is an awful pick. Odegaard might not be a bad differential. Raya in goal, I still don't hate. I think the clean sheets are going to come, and we know what Arsenal can do defensively. So Raya is a solid play you can have in there for the cleaners. I'll leave it there for the FPL content, I think, before I speak too much on that. So if you're here for the FPL content only, tune off now. If you want to stay for those extra few minutes of a Pokemon pack, have we got anything decent from another Paradox Rift pack? It looks like there's something shiny here. We might have done well here, guys. We have. We've got ourselves, whatever you say it, gold. I think it's sort of like a double gold star rare gold Dengo card thing. And then a standard rare hollow sword Agulash slash thing. That's one of the best pulls we've got. On the Fantasy Football channel. So if you stayed this far, well done for witnessing it live, so to speak. I'm definitely going to leave the video there now. This might be the longest one I've waffled on for. But yeah, please like and subscribe if you want to tune in for more. If you've liked it, please comment if you want to ask any questions about FPL or comment on the Pokemon, etc. Whatever you want to do. Thanks for listening though again. I do hope you have good game weeks when it finally comes around after yet another international break. But yeah, for now, catch you guys on the next one.